Hello everyone and welcome to the Trade Ideas Live Trading Room Recap for Friday, January the 5th. My name is Barry Anderson, moderator of the Trading Room. This is the email address you can use to ask me any questions. This is a link to get into our free trading room. You do not have to be a member of Trade Ideas to join us. And this is a link for a subscription, and I typically open the room just around 9 o'clock Eastern Time, and I start to share my screen and get live on the mic at about 9:05. All right, well, action has slowed right down for me anyway, so, but we had a lot of activity early on in the day. So the interesting thing for me is that when I was doing my pre-market work, I think 9 out of the top 10 gainers in the pre-market were all China stocks. So if you followed the market at all yesterday, you know that CNET had just an amazing day, China stock. So I think a lot of people were really looking to see, okay, what could be the next one? If you saw CNIT at the end of the day, you saw this happen in the after hours. So I mean, and they did this in the once the market opened this morning. So I was definitely focused on CCIH. And this was the pre-market activity. So I saw this action. I waited for this pullback here. I actually got into the in the pre-market. I took it at 351, but then it just started to drop, and so I actually got out for a, what was it? I think a 10-cent loss. Yeah, 10-cent loss in the pre-market. But I wanted to keep watching it, and the minute, like just before it took out the, in fact, on this move right there, I thought, okay, I think this is obviously getting ready to go. Big volume bar coming in. I ended up taking the trade at 330. It was 339, but right about here, and I took some out almost immediately, just a little bit out at 370, just in case. I didn't want to see this bar happen to me. But it just kept going, and look what it did. I mean, it got all the way up to 476. So my exits, yeah, we're at 370. I got out some at 370, right about here, and then 460 and 426 on the way down, and then just, yeah, on the way down. So that was it for this trade. But I mean, it was very quick, especially on that first opening 15-minute candle. Just a tremendous trade, and a lot of people in the room took that one. I did end up taking this one also. A little bit of a disappointment. BW. This was a Holly alert from yesterday. I will still follow it next week. Here it looks on the daily chart. You can see why I'm interested in this. Look at the potential gap fill. So this was a Holly alert yesterday. So, and it broke over 6. It closed just at 607. So this morning when I was watching it, I saw that it popped up nicely, and I thought, okay, this looks good. Big volume bar right there. Looks good. Looks like it might have some good continuation. Got into the trade at 620.21 with the idea that I was going to swing it. Did take a little pop up to, no, very little, 624, and then it just gave it up. So I got out of the trade actually for a 20-cent loss, but again, I was swinging it, so I was planning to swing it, so I share sized accordingly. I will watch it next week. I have an alert set up here to see if it regains 6 and then just wants to continue. What else happened? Delt was the other really interesting one, another little China stock. I think it's China, make sure. I forgot to get this. Okay, I want the symbol linking. Let me type it in again. Yeah, another China stock. So this was another one that went crazy. Got halted a couple of times. I did not, I got the alert here, but then it got halted, and then of course it opened, screamed higher. Then on the pullback, got into it at 365 up here. Look, it was a very erratic looking trader. I mean, look at the topping tails, look at the bottoming tails on the 15. I mean, you usually go to a higher time frame in order to smooth things out, but this was really erratic, so you had to be very, very quick. I ended up taking this trade right about here. Kind of a chase right here. And man, look what it did. Got all the way up to 450. Like, love to say that I traded everything out there. Not exactly. I got out. In fact, I immediately traded a little bit out at 375. Just worried that we were going to, that you could, come on, get it, buy. You get this sort of action coming in here, that it would immediately drop. So I wanted to take a little bit, and then it just kept going. And I ended up getting out at not 460, at 427. I'm at 427, and then when it broke down, I was actually on my trainer, my electrical trainer, and what I do is it's in the same room as my all my monitors, and I just had a big chart of this one up. The minute I started seeing that red bar, hopped off and got out at 395. So that was another exciting trade. Again, these were just tremendous percentage moves, and that's what we're really looking for. And you know what? That's about it. Yeah, that is about it. I am still in this, a little disappointed that it didn't hold 16. I'm in this swing trade from yesterday. Um, it almost stopped me out. I'm in at 1550. Got up to 1615. Again, take a look at the daily chart. You'll see why I'm interested in this one. The potential, to fill this void is just awesome. So I'm going to continue to hold it, see what happens, and as long as it doesn't go, if it goes back to 1550, I'll get out. I can always get back in on a 16 break later on next week if it happens. All right, well that is it. Long week, a lot of excitement. We had, we had the cannabis sector just exploding, and then we had the big downturn yesterday with the Attorney General's comments about what he would like to do in the sector. We've had some, I think a Colorado senator came out and and defended it. Of course, Colorado being the first state to legalize marijuana. So it's been a bit of a topsy-turvy ride. The Canadian marijuana stocks are still doing very well, but it's the U.S. ones that are, we need a good consensus and direction on that, because obviously there's probably a lot of opportunity there once these things get ironed out. And then, of course, we had China yesterday with CNET, and a big China continuation today, though not for the whole day. So, it's sort of rotating. You got to be quick. You got to be nimble on a lot of these things. Sometimes it's the bios that are screaming higher. Sometimes it's the cannabis sector. China can take over. You can have oil. I mean, you really have to be quick, and especially if you're intraday trading. Just sort of hop on the strong sector and ride it out. All right, everybody. Well, it's been an exciting week in the trading room. We actually had a record yesterday in the room. I think we had about a little over 660 people, so very gratifying to see a lot of people tuning into the room. We have just a tremendous group of traders in the room. It's certainly not all about me just telling you what to buy and sell all day long. My job, of course, obviously if I'm in something, I talk about it and I announce it, but it's also to help anybody to try to understand how to use the program. We get a lot of questions throughout the day, and that's absolutely happy to answer any question you may have. All right, so let me bring back my capture program, and I hope everybody has a great weekend, and we'll see you in the trading room on Monday. I'll open it around 9 o'clock Eastern time. So have a great weekend. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.